What's up, weirdos? Welcome to Oregon.
You got your dirt bike over here, which is super cool, but you guys built some bears today, right?
Yep.
Yeah, did a Build-A-Bear that you're giving away to someone who has a little bit less than you. I think that's pretty freaking cool. What's your YouTube channel, bud?
Madden2. Go subscribe to me on YouTube.
Keep an eye out for these three on Madden's channel, and when we come back this summer and we put that dirt bike to work, I'm sure you can't wait.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you're ready.
What's up, weirdos?
Welcome to Oregon. Huge thanks for the intro there. We'll be back up to hang out in Oregon soon. And now, how about a blast from the past? The Honda GL500, aka the Silver Wing, aka Turd Ferguson, aka Raspberry Buffet Jr. This motorcycle holds a special place in my heart because this was the first motorcycle that I ever rode across the country on. That in and of itself puts it among the greats, gives it a seat on the pantheon of crappy motorcycles I've ridden long distances. But it wasn't just the first motorcycle that I rode cross country the long way. It was much more than that. This was also the very first motorcycle that I bought sight unseen in another state, in another city very far away from home, crossed my fingers and jumped on the road. It was also my very first trip with David from Forgotten Angels, the beginning of a budding bromance. White lightning and black thunder hitting the road, and David showing me that I'm very much not alone when it comes to people who jump in front of the bus just to see what happens. For all of those reasons, this motorcycle holds a very special place in my heart, and I've been on other trips with it and I've ridden it around, and it's got a few issues right now. I've kind of been struggling on what to do with it. For a while, I thought this was going to be Dr. Girlfriend's first motorcycle. We decided against it, and she's going to go a different route, which is totally fine. I've considered selling it, but I'm bad at selling motorcycles. I've considered giving it away because I'm way better at giving away motorcycles than I am at selling them, and I've even considered raffling it off. But when it came time to sell it, I couldn't do it. When it came time to give it away, we decided it wasn't the best option. And when it came time to raffle it, another Silver Wing came across my desk that was too cheap to pass up, and I realized I wasn't quite ready to let go of this thing yet. So congratulations to Alyssa, if you remember her. She actually won that Silver Wing, and she still rides it all the time. In fact, she actually rode to Tampa on the back of her boyfriend's motorcycle, and then they rode back home together. It was awesome. So what now? What am I going to do with it now? I can't just let it sit. Letting a motorcycle sit is the worst thing you can do for them, both for the actual mechanical state of the motorcycle and also for the soul of the motorcycle. It's also kind of a spit in the face to all the engineers that made the motorcycle, who made it to be ridden. Joe the Mountain Jedi taught me that one. So after long deliberation, and by long deliberation I mean deciding this morning when I woke up, we're going with rebirth. When I say rebirth, what I mean is we're gonna lean real hard into the old Raspberry Buffet Jr. I actually gave Raspberry Buffet away. We raffled it off. My man Rodney, strong like troll, won the Raspberry Buffet and rode it back home to Arkansas, had an amazing time with it, and decided he wanted to give it up and he wanted to donate it back to have it raffled off again. And then my man Spite picked up Raspberry Buffet, rode it back to Texas, and now it's living a completely different life, stripped down as a naked GL1200. And that's okay. Raspberry Buffet has transcended. It's moved on. It's gone to a different place to achieve different things. And I think it's time for Raspberry Buffet Jr. to do the same thing. In order to tell the story of Turd Ferguson and its imminent transformation into Raspberry Buffet, we have to tell the story of not just this Silver Wing, but two other Silver Wings and an amazing friendship. About 3 years ago, I got an email from Sugar Tree Jason about him wanting to donate a 1983 650 Silver Wing to Forgotten Angels. Only problem was, he lived in Portland. The problem solved itself when I just so happened to be traveling to Portland to pick up a particular 1977 Shovelhead and attempt to ride it back home to Tampa. I agreed to meet up with Jason and check out the Silver Wing, and he gave me a tour of his business, sessions, and dab factory, and told me about Sugar Tree Farms and their cannabis production. And turns out we were cut from the same cloth, and after a few business beers, we hatched some pretty cool plans. Fast forward to September 2022, Shaylisi and I are flying out to Portland for the soft launch of our first Brapstar Cannabis collaboration with Sugar Tree, Jason, and Sessions. We threw a big party at our friend shop Legion Moto Co., and if you were there and got one of our smokable goodie bags, you got some of the very first stuff we ever produced. After that, I planned to ride back on the Silver Wing to Tampa solo. Well, Jason had other plans, and he bought another matching Silverwing for Shayleesi to ride back to Tampa on. She pivoted pretty quickly to this idea, and those Silverwings went on to raise over $100,000 for Forgotten Angels. Since then, Sugar Tree Jason has donated another 5 motorcycles to Forgotten Angels, and also helped them with countless other projects, including working on opening a Forgotten Angels branch in Oregon. As y'all know, I don't really do sponsorships here on my channel. Nothing against anybody who does, I just don't. If I'm going to talk about a product, a service, or anything that requires someone to plunk down their hard-earned cash, I need to know every single thing about it and every single thing about the people producing it. Over the past 3 years, I've gotten to know Jason and the rest of the boys from Sugar Tree Farms and Sessions. We've done everything from getting kicked out of bars, riding to Sturgis, working on motorcycles. I've met their kids, their family, and we've all stayed up late into the night pondering the manner of things. We've seen and participated in every single step of their process, from seed to harvest to processing to packaging to distribution. The reason I don't do sponsorships is because this is the level of scrutiny I require on both a business and a personal level before I'll ever even consider working with somebody. And when I say Jason and I are cut from the same cloth, it's because that is also what he requires from me. Anybody who says don't do business with friends, in my opinion, just has bad friends. And after 3 years of getting to know each other, laughing, crying, riding, drinking, and planning, we're finally ready to officially launch the full line of Brapstar and Sessions cannabis products in the state of Oregon. What does this have to do with Raspberry Buffet? Well, you'll see soon. For now, let's head over to Portland to hang out with Jason and the boys from Sugar Tree Farm. Normally you'd be freaked out about having the cop shop directly across the street from where you make all this stuff. When it's legal, it's actually a bonus. If you guys live in Oregon and you've asked your local smoke shop to send over Sessions and Sessions Brapstar collab, already sold out. We're in the process of making more. So by the time you see this video, you will be able to get the Sessions Brapstar collab. Again, you just gotta ask your local dispensary to get it. They can go online and they can order it from these guys and it'll be over there. We're gonna try to send some gifts out with it too for the first people who get it. But I keep telling you guys that these pens are the best. Few years in the making. Sugar Tree Jason actually used to do pens before, but he just wasn't happy with how the quality was. And let me tell you what, put out a low quality pen, it is a cash cow. It's just a cash grab, but people pay money for these things and they're just not that good. One of the biggest things, besides him just not doing it for several years because he wanted the pens to be worth it, to be good, and he's still charging less than what most people change. But the biggest thing I see is all of this. So you see all this? All of that is full of bud, and all of this bud right here, by the way, it goes all the way around. You might go like, wow, dude, that's a lot. Is that how you know it's so good? Because all of this is going into pens? No. How I know they're good is all of this they've decided is not going into pens because they only put the very best of their stuff into pens. This is still gonna make a great product for somebody else who's making a product that's, I'm not gonna say anything more than that, making a product that's not quite as good as these guys. And I'm telling you, man, when you look inside these things, take my word for it. To see someone take this many pounds and say, it's good, but it's not quite good enough for the product we're making, that's what tells me this is the best. Absolutely, I'll stand behind it, freaking guaranteed. There's nobody out there who's gonna make a better pen. If you're gonna spend your money on an all-in-one cart, there ain't nobody out there who's gonna give you a better product for your money than they are, and that's at any price. This right here is proof positive of that. There's a couple of processes involved before it actually goes into the freaking vaporizer cartridge. I'm not sure what to call them. Pen, cart, vape, whatever. If you're going up to Legion Moto tonight and you're one of the first 50 people there, you're going to get something really special. Like I said before though, ask your local dispensary. They can literally get online. Leaf Link, that's what it's called. There's a system set in place where they can get a hold of the guys at Sugar Tree Farm and Sessions and the Sessions Brapstar collab coming soon that's coming out at a local shop near you. So even if you live on the other end of the state, because Oregon's a big place, so you might not live here near Portland or anything like that, but trust me, you can still get this stuff. Just gotta ask. I have had a couple people ask about it, and yes, it's still happening. We just got some other things to put together that I'll probably talk about a little bit later in this video, but we do have 2 XR650, not Ls, 2 plated XR650Rs. The big one, the big red pig that we are going to be giving away. Not done with those bikes, trust me.
Stay greasy.
My man Jason, Sugar Tree Jason over there, had this thing specifically made. So this is a machine that was made to his specifications. Because once again, like I said, when it comes to making carts, he made carts years ago. He wasn't happy with them. Gave up the money that you would have made making a substandard cart because he wasn't willing to do it until he could have this machine made. And I know it's his because who gets their freaking machine made with some custom LEDs inside? Got the RGB like a freaking your gaming computer on the inside of this cart filler. Everything here is freaking top of the line, man. My favorite thing about it is how do you make your decision when you're buying something? You want the best possible quality for the lowest amount of money. You're sacrificing neither one. There's very few people out there in the market, not casting any shade, who come in at a lower price. And there's nobody that comes in at the price that they're selling these carts for.
Can't be beat.
Literally can't be beat, dude. It's almost unfair. Makes me feel a little bad for everybody else who's trying real hard because I don't know, baby. These are hard to beat. This one, which is pretty obvious what you're smoking there, the 510 thread one. This is what the packaging looks like. Get your local dispensary to order these. First off, they're gonna be cheaper than pretty much anything you can get that's this quality. Make sure you ask your dispensary to jump on Leaf Link and make sure you jump on these carts right here because they sell out freaking instantaneously. So they gotta be on top of it. They're making them as fast as they can over here and they are making them fast, but they go just as fast.
We've been living through it.
It's freaking going, dude. It's going. Hit them up, man, and tell them Shade Tree sent you. Although I don't know if your local bud tender will know who I am. If you get the product in the store, I promise you, we'll hit them up. They'll know who we are real soon.
We'll bring it to them.
Yeah.
Arthur, listen to me carefully. I believe in you.
Well, we'll say we truly don't know how all y'all guys up north live. You don't really know until you work on a car or a motorcycle outside in the cold. Hitting your knuckles on something when it's cold outside, that is an entirely different type of hell. One way or another. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be one way or another, but we're gonna try our best to make the old sidekick run. What do you think?
Cold.
It was advertised as the heat works. All right, boys, I'm still seeing how y'all live working on cars in the outdoors here in the Pacific Northwest where everything is wet and very cold. So it's about 40 degrees out and we're back working on the Suzuki again. The Sidekick is not starting. It has spark and it'll run on starting fluid, so we're looking at a fuel issue. And I had a lot of people say that behind this left rear tail light, you get corroded wires just because it's a bad rust point. The fuel pump wire corroded. So I'm going to pull this off and check. I don't have a tripod. I'm out here by myself because it's 7 a.m. But let's see if we can get this thing running. Okie dokie. We're in the rain chasing down electrical gremlins, but success, kind of. I don't know if it's complete success because it is beyond my ken. Now, if Joe the Mountain Jedi was here, he would definitely be able to do this. But since Joe the Mountain Jedi lives in Tampa, I'm gonna have to take this to a computer nerd. Because let me tell you something about old school ECMs. Sometimes they're hard to find, sometimes they're hard to replace. You know, people charge you an arm and a leg for an ECM from the 80s, but at the end of the day, all it is a circuit board. And any old school computer nerd, you know who I'm talking about, any old school computer nerd will be able to solder in new capacitors, resistors, whatever you need into one of these things. They are a dying breed, but if you know one and you got an 80s, 90s car with one of these old school ECMs, just take it to them, dude. They can pretty much build the entire thing. So I went through this, I chased everything down, I found out that the injector wasn't firing, my fuel pump was going, like I got fuel, I got spark, but the injector isn't going, and that is controlled by a capacitor here that I can now look at this board, which is definitely seen better days, and I can see that this capacitor is leaking. So let's go drop it off to a nerd, who I'm not gonna call a nerd because I need his help. Well, the Suzuki Sidekick was a no-go, despite our most valiant efforts.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried to go wheeling.
We did.
Luckily, my man Jason from Sugar Tree has no shortage of toys. You never have to grow up. I mean, he made a couple of trades here, and now he has a Suron, which I've been dying to try. It is cold, it is wet out. It's probably the most dangerous time to ride one of these things, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway.
I am not riding it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm taking it easy because I'm just like, never been on one of these things before, and I'm in a neighborhood, and it's wet out, and yeah, I think I really like this. I don't even care that it's raining now. I have got to get one of these. Hanging out here at the Legion Christmas party, and of all people to walk up, we have Joanne, who won the FXR, who won the wet spot, who goes, what am I going to do with that bike? I don't know. You know, this is a lady who rides dirt, who makes quilts, and made one for my girl over here as the magpie flies. Let me see that. There we go. She's coming down to Florida. If you want to come down when she comes, and we'll all do it together. You can come down too. That would be amazing.
You fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
I hear some clinking in the background. We were unable to go out and ride around the Suzuki Sidekick today. It was unable to start, but that's okay. Our consolation prize is still pretty damn good. I didn't know Jason from Sugar Tree in a previous life before this. He's owned gun stores before. He's been shooting his whole life. He is a gun guy. I cannot believe that this is within like the city limits. It reminds me of Caddyshack, but with guns. Nobody's here asking us what we're doing. Nobody here is watching us. There's a 2-year waiting list to get in here. It's not even that expensive, but my man Jason, 2-year waiting list. You gotta be a badass action pistol certified 3-gun, no joke kind of dude to be able to come here and use this by yourself. Luckily, we know a guy.
Give me a glizzy and a Glock. Who knows what I'll do?
This is a STI 2011. This is a DVC 3-gun, John Wick style. You know what I mean? This is just a standard 22 with a suppressor. Actually, this suppressor company is called the Biddy. It's made out of Oregon. So I've never shot this. This would be a brand new shooting for me. And then just a standard P365. This is a little compact carry gun. We wanted to get Shay a small gun, see how she likes that. It's a full-size custom Glock 17.
Showing off stuff.
How big's your gun safe?
It's pretty big. 9mm MP5 suppressed. Aimpoint T1 micro.
Suppress rifles, man, always fun. We're on our waiting list for a suppressor, that Walther rifle. So we just realized that Shay forgot eye protection. When you wear glasses, you always got eye protection. Went up front, the pro store was closed. A guy walks up to me, his name is Jeff. He goes, I'm in the business of eyes. Oh, do you make eye protection? He goes, no, I'm an eye doctor and you can just have these. And he hands me a pair of glasses. Give these to your niece. And it ends up being a $150 pair of eye sights that he just goes like, yeah, you could just have them, you know? It's pretty cool. The people here are cool. I had to chase him down to ask his name, man. He's just gonna walk away.
Wrap your fingers like that, so your thumbs are straight ahead, okay? Nice and high, thumbs together. Wrap your fingers in lock. Nice, good shot. Just below bullseye. See with this one, it's the slightest, super easy to pull. Okay, it's a competition weapon, so it's easy to pull. And when I say like hold the reset, once you hear that click, that's when you want to pull. Click. Pull. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To click, be on target, pull. It will help you with your stability in your hands.
Oh my gosh.
Let go. Click. Beautiful. How you feeling? Good? Slowly. Good. Just in the 9, you're like an inch below bullseye. You're in the 8 ring, right of the bullseye, about an inch. Remember, you can rest. You need to rest. Ooh, that was a good shot. Rest. Yes, perfect. Yeah, you can pull faster too if you feel comfortable.
So I learned something completely new today that I've never done before, shooting off the reset. Sure, all you gun guys out there probably know exactly what it is. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, of course, shooting off the reset. Well, I haven't spent any time in a range since like the 90s, but Jason just taught me how to shoot off the reset, and it feels really weird to do, like I'm shooting too fast, like I can't actually aim. Shooting off the reset, I just shot the absolute best group that I've shot so far. It works. Now I want to try it out on every gun. I'm like, oh, I want to try this on everything now, dude. It's very cool.
This is a reminder for all of our viewers to relax your shoulders right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Unclench your jaw. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's that very little kick.
That's so quiet, man. Sounds like a freaking pellet gun, man.
I know, right?
The 22 didn't sound like nothing. This one literally sounds like a pellet gun.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Dude, you're shooting great, actually. You're right there.
Dude, that's very fucking cool.
Dope on that. Look at that group. You can see it from here, dude.
Down and left
Dude,
and everything.
that's an insanely good group.
But I'm like,
I'll be honest, I forget to reset a lot of times too. Like,
yeah,
I
was
get
trying
excited
to.
and I'll just like, ah, la, la, la.
Yeah, I was trying to remind myself to do it.
Come right, just a bit. There it is, ringer. Oh, that's soft as fuck. Do a little faster. Click, pop.
I will tell you, there ain't nothing better than having somebody who knows what they're talking about give you small, tiny things to change about the way you're pulling the trigger and the way you're standing, and then to not have an ego and actually put those things into practice and then see an immediate difference. That was very, very cool. Everyone should be so lucky to have somebody to shoot with. Sugar Tree Jason over here, because that was freaking awesome. And that, of course, brings us right back to Turd Ferguson, aka Raspberry Buffet Jr. So what are we gonna do with this bike anyway? Essentially, I'm gonna do what I always wanted to it, which is tear it apart, repaint it, clean everything, make it absolutely brand new, polish all the aluminum, and of course, give it a paint job that would make Prince proud. Metal flake purple paint and white lace, baby. It's going to be a little obnoxious. I've also got some CX500 turbo wheels ordered for it. They should be here any day now because these stock Comstars look terrible. I got a few other cool ideas that I'm gonna do to the bike. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's what I always wanted to do and just kind of felt like I never had a reason to do it. Now I got the time and I definitely got a reason. At this point, we've got several new strains coming out in collaboration with Sugar Tree Farm and Sessions, Brapstar strain. You already are familiar with a couple of them, Whiskey Throttle and Pondering the Orb, but we've also got Big Twin coming out. Space Truckin' is also hitting the shelves soon. And of course, we're coming out with a strain called Raspberry Buffet. And I figured what better way to celebrate Raspberry Buffet coming to fruition than painting this motorcycle to look like Raspberry Buffet, then riding this motorcycle back the other way across the country from Tampa to Portland and giving it away to someone. What we're gonna do is give this motorcycle away in person. The bike might not look like much now, but when I'm done with it, it still might not look like much. Anyway, you'll be able to get a chance to win it once it's done. Then you can make your decision on whether you want to enter to win the Raspberry Buffet Jr. or not. What me, Shay, Sugar Tree Jason, and the rest of the boys out there have decided to do is once Raspberry Buffet hits the shelves, save your receipts for every Raspberry Buffet item you buy. It's going to be in carts, all-in-ones, and you'll also be able to get it in a distillate. Save those receipts because we're going to throw a big party, and everyone who brings a receipt for Raspberry Buffet, well, guess what? We're going to donate a percentage of however much you've bought back to Forgotten Angels, and it also enters you to win this motorcycle. This motorcycle, once it's all fixed up, like I said, it's not even on the shelves yet, so you can't even enter that, but coming this summer, that's what we're gonna do with this thing, and I think that's a fitting way to end my time as this motorcycle's caretaker and pass it along to someone else, all while doing the right thing and, most importantly, having a good time while you do the right thing. After all, the whole reason that any of this is happening, that myself and Shay Lisi ever met Jason from Sugar Tree Farms in the first place, is because of Silver Wings and Forgotten Angels. So it makes sense that this is the best way to say goodbye to old Turd Ferguson. We're a little ways off from it, but I'm really stoked about this. And of course, Mo Colors is going to be painting it for me. I know this video is all over the place, but I'm all over the place. Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree, army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high.
Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.